Hello and welcome, and thank you for joining me. Today, I want to talk about a specific use case of schedule flow. And this is kind of a picking up from my last video where we talked about time-based email alert or time-based schedule trigger. So the use case was we needed to send an email alert to the opportunity owner 5 days after the opportunity is still in prospecting stage. So we created a very simple flow where we had a schedule path reminder after 5 days, and it's just alerting the opportunity owner. Pretty straightforward. Now, after that requirement, what you also heard from your business that they not only want to remind the first 5 days, but they also want to constantly remind the owner of the opportunity if they don't change the stage. So first 5 days, the flow will work fine. It will alert them once, but they want to continuously remind them, and that is sort of a recurring email that you want to set up. Now with the flow, with the schedule, that's really not a very extensive approach because you'll have to set up a reminder for every days, and then you don't know how long you want to set it for because it's a non-recurring and there is no end date in mind. So these kind of requirements are better handled by schedule flow. Of course, there's another way to handle this. You might recommend, and this is the easiest way, is recommend a report notification. So you can set up a report, and which we're not going to get into this video, but you can set up a report with the specific stage criteria, and so that the sales rep will get an email alert first thing in the morning and they can see all their opportunity which are in prospecting stage. So that would be a really good way to do this if you can get your business to agree on. But sometimes they want the exact opportunity in an email format. So for that scenario, I would recommend using a schedule flow if that meets your requirement. Otherwise, you can always go for the Apex solution. But in this video, we're going to look at how to create a schedule flow and how to think about it. So first, in the same flow that we discussed last time, what you want to also add is some sort of a checkbox on the opportunity. So basically, the moment they get a reminder, you also want a field. So I'm just going to call it, since I already have a checkbox here called bypass, I'm just going to use that. And just checking that checkbox using the same flow. Okay, so I'm just going to say update records and update opportunity. Conditions are met. ID equals the record ID that triggered this. So let's look at the opportunity ID here. Okay, and the set fields here, I want to just use bypass. Of course, your fields should name specifically for that. So maybe you can call it 5 days after opportunity. So basically, we're just trying to stamp that this opportunity has gone through that 5 days process, basically. In this case, I'm just picking a field that I already had in my org and make it true. Okay, we'll see why we need this. And then right after that email alert, you want to also update those opportunity record. So save that as a new version. And that's your first step. So you are going to use the same schedule trigger, just updating that field. Now, how do we use the schedule flow? So basically, to create a schedule flow, hit new flow. And here we're just going to pick schedule triggered flow because we want to constantly remind them. So that's the main difference here. We are trying to constantly remind the sales rep that, hey, your stage is still in prospecting stage, go fix that, or do something on that opportunity. So for here, we're just going to say set schedule, and I'm just going to pick today's date with some time here, sometime in future. As an example, I'm just going to say 3 p.m. Okay, and the frequency is you want to do this daily because you don't really know when that opportunity stage is being changed. So it's good to have it daily so that every time that it meets the requirement, it will fire that email alert. And this date could, depending upon your requirement, maybe you want to send a morning email or an evening email, whatever that might be. Hit done here. And then we're going to choose the object, opportunity. And this is where this is very important. Conditions are met. So what condition do we want to fire that alert on? First of all, we definitely want that bypass equal to true, because this is what tells us that this person has already been reminded once. And then you also want to make sure that opportunity stage is still in prospecting, because you don't want to send the same email alert even if they change the stage. So these two are required filters in this scenario. Then hit done. So this is all you need in terms of conditions. Then the next step is, of course, to update or alert the owner. So action, and we're going to say type email alert. I'm just going to pick a random email that I have. And record ID. And this record ID, by the way, should be of the opportunity if you want to send specific information about that opportunity. So in your email alert, maybe you have a link to the opportunity, the stage, and whatever other information you need. And that's really it. And we're gonna say send recurring email. Prospecting stage. Hit save. So what we just did is basically you have a first flow that is setting the reminder for the first 5 days. So the first time the opportunity hits a prospecting stage, it will have a reminder set for 5 days, after 5 days. Now, assuming that the opportunity still stays in prospecting stage until after that 5 days, the sales rep will get first notification. Now, we then also update a field. It's a background field. Nobody needs to see this field. We're just updating that field as a checkbox, marking it. Now, by this time, if the sales rep already changed the prospecting to some other stage, we're good. We don't need to remind them again. But let's say if the sales rep ignored the email or didn't get the email, but we still want to remind them every single day, then that's where this other flow comes in, where this is set to run every day. So they're going to get reminder every single day. So if they have 5 or 10 opportunities sitting in prospecting stage, all meeting the same criteria, then they'll get the email on the same day. Let's say if they have 5 opportunities in their name and not all 5 of them meet that criteria today, they'll get 3 emails today, 2 emails tomorrow. So this will work until and unless they don't change the stage. So once they change the stage, perfect. They're not going to get email for that particular opportunity. So in this way, you can have a recurring email without having to do 5 days, then 10 days, 11, 12, 13, 14 days in this kind of format. And this is a really powerful way to do the schedule trigger without using Apex. Now you might have other requirements. Also be careful on how many opportunities you have in your org. I'll link to the documentation on schedule trigger flow, especially around the limitations. You want to be careful with the volume of records that you have. All right, that's all for this video. Let me know if this was helpful, and if you have any other topics that you like me to make a video on. Thank you so much for watching, and definitely subscribe if you like the content. Thank you.